Hello everyone, I am the Alanator, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different to what I've done in the past. Unfortunately, I decided to discontinue the GDA Only Challenge series because I was having trouble with my emulator and trying to get one of the new updates. And it unfortunately ended with my account getting deleted. I also decided to end it because after a while I just lost interest in the challenge. It's pretty obviously possible, it's just tedious, so please, if you want to do the challenge, go ahead. But if I'm being completely honest, I can't be asked, so I'm good. Anyways, today's episode marks the beginning of a brand new series that I'm hoping and wanting to actually get through, where in each episode I will be going through every character in the game of Invincible Guarding the Globe, going through their stats, abilities, how good they actually are, etc. In the first episode of this series, we are rather appropriately going to talk about Invincible, who is literally the name of the game. So, strap yourselves in folks, because this is Invincible's character profile. Okay, so first things first, we're going to be going through Invincible's base stats as well as giving a description of the character. He is an attacker that is a part of the Earth's Defenders faction, which means he does plus 20% damage to characters from Worlds Beyond, and he receives 20% damage from characters in the Criminal Organization. He has a fast movement speed, and he is a melee character. His tags are as follows. Firstly, he's a Viltrumite human on the last line of Defenders, and he is a flying character. And now here comes his base stats. He has a HP of 3,849, which is actually less than a lot of the other attackers, but it's not noticeable. It's not a noticeable difference, especially once you level him up. His attack is 2,634, and his defense is 675. He has a critical hit chance of 5%, and when he does do a critical hit, he does an extra 50% damage onto enemies. As for his abilities or his skills, his first ability, Supersonic, Invincible, flies incredibly quickly 3 times from one enemy to the other, dealing 180% of his attack damage with each hit, or dealing 4,741 damage with each hit, but this number increases as you level him up or rank him up. The cooldown of this ability is 18 seconds, and with its high damage, along with the fact that he can attack more than half of the members in the enemy team with this high damage, makes it a pretty damn good ability. However, it gets better. Once you build this ability up to level 10, he will attack 5 times, which is the whole team. The ability will do 195% of his attack damage, or 5,136, but like I said, that number can increase. But it also does 15% lifesteal. The cooldown of the ability, however, does not change. His second ability, Going Steady, makes it so that if Invincible has an ally in the team that is also part of the last line of defense, then the entire team's ability cooldown will be decreased by 5%. However, once you get this ability to max level, it will instead reduce it by 10%. His third ability makes up for the lack of HP we mentioned earlier, Inner Viltrumite. His third ability makes it so that when his HP reaches 20%, he will become immune to all damage for 5 seconds. Now, 5 seconds might not seem like a lot of time, but it is a very good amount of time to be immune to all damage in this game. When fully maxed out, he is instead immune for 7 seconds, and his energy attack is increased by 25% for 7 seconds, and cooldown goes from 30 to 28, which probably won't matter anyways, but oh well. What I imagine will happen in most of your fights is once he does reach 20% HP, he'll become immune, then he won't be immune, and unless he's been healed quite a lot, he'll just die quite quickly after that because he still only has 20% HP. Pepper's playing with her rope. Can you play quietly, please, girl? Come on. Why are you doing this? Please? Can you please be quiet? Okay, thank you. And finally, for Invincible's fourth ability, going for the big guy. At the beginning of the battle, and every 25 seconds, Invincible increases his attack by 5% for 5 seconds, and attacks the enemy with the lowest power. The thing that makes this ability so good is that when it triggers, unless he's the only one left on the team, whatever enemies are targeting him will stop targeting him, which is pretty sweet. When at max level, the ability is triggered both at the start and every 20 seconds, and instead of doing 5% damage, he does 10% damage. This ability yet again makes up for the lack of HP Invincible has that we mentioned previously. Now, as for the artifacts that you should be using on him, these are the artifacts that I personally would use and recommend for Invincible. The Body Enhancement, Mark Grayson's Earpiece, the Martian Spear, and the Battle Hologram. As for what skills you should be prioritizing leveling up, here is the priority list. We have his first ability in first, how poetic, his final ability in second, his third ability in third, again, poetic, and his second ability in fourth. Now, these lists aren't about which skill is better, but rather which skill is more worth leveling up. Being able to hit basically the whole team at least to do that much damage in a pretty small amount of time is absolutely amazing, which is why I have Supersonic at first. As for going for the big guy, I put it in second because I personally think it gives Invincible more survivability than the inner Viltrumite ability. But if you disagree, then that's okay. It can go either way. However, going steady is easily the least worthy of leveling up. There are only 5 of the last line of defense characters: Omni-Man, Atom Eve, Oliver, Agent Spider, and Blue Suit Mark. And 3 of them are a little rarer than the others, and by that I mean Oliver and Agent Spider, you can only get them in the Multiverse shop, and then Blue Suit Mark, you can only get through events. It simply is not worth leveling up as much as the other abilities. Now, as for how to use him, or how I advise that you use him, if he's in your main team, once you get him to Epic Plus, then for all your campaign missions, Cecil's Nightmares, Arena, etc., put him right in the front in the second slot, because the first thing that's going to happen is 3 of the 5 enemies, at most, I believe, are going to target him and immediately forget he exists, thanks to his 4th ability that we just explained. And they will attack other different characters, hopefully your tank. Also keep in mind that Invincible is highly useful for all the event ops that give you free characters like High Risk, Severe Risk, etc. Being a Viltrumite, Invincible works well with other Viltrumite characters, for example, Thula, Nissa, Conquest. As for his tier, I would say that Invincible is easily S tier. For a while, Invincible was the undisputed best attacker in the game, until Seismic and Universal were added. But still, to this day, it can be reasonably argued that Invincible is the best. He has good damage and amazing survivability. Well, that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, then please hit the like button so I know that it has managed to help someone. Next time we'll be doing a character from Worlds Beyond, so if you have any requests for what character we should do next, then please let me know in the comments below. But that's it for today, folks. See you later.